Welcome back to the coziest part of Solana's finest podcast, Sol Brothers, with my dear friend Eno and myself, Simon. Today we're going to talk about markets, prices, charts, and technical analysis. Let's do a little deep dive because Eno, we might be back. It looks like
Yeah.
it looks better than last time. It looks better on the charts. Did you take a glance at the prices?
I am regretting some choices, but also things can always go lower. So little sad that I didn't pick up anything at the dip. I was actually expecting it to go a little bit lower, but hey, happy for the markets in general, right, Simon?
Lower, even lower, my friend. The dip was dipping, but you might be right actually. There's still a chance for more dipping, and we're gonna start by looking at the charts here to make a little bit sense of this mess. So let's pull up my screen here. We're looking at the 1 hour Solana chart right now, and as you can see, it is heavily labeled here. That is me trying to make sense of all these wave counts, and together with you guys, we're going to try to figure out where we might be heading next. But at a first glance, if we just get rid of all these indicators, we can see that we're kind of going sideways. There's really strong resistance at this current level. We've been kind of stuck at $144. We broke through it a little bit, and this is a good sign, by the way, because we have a big impulse here. That is, everyone can see that. You don't need to be a TA expert. There's a big impulse, and then it has been also it broke through the 145. It broke through the kind of volume or liquidity spike here at 140, 139. And now we're consolidating, thinking where to turn next. But here's the bearish news. We might not be done with the downside here because the whole move here to the upside, like without going too far yet into the details, the whole move to the upside right now could be a fourth wave, right? So that fourth wave here has resistance between $156 and $205. And that is the whole area that we basically could see a turnaround to the downside again. So we're far from being safe, really. We would need many more confirmations here to the upside to be to have higher chances for an upside move. The first good sign, though, on the other hand, again, is that this 1, 2, 3, that is the impulse. 4, that's where we're right now. 5 structure looks like it's on the way to play out. That would conclude the C wave in orange here. So we have this A, B to the downside where we almost did a double bottom, right? Like with the previous low, where you were thinking, maybe we go lower. But it was just a B wave. These B waves, they can even overshoot a little bit, right? It didn't. It got stopped before, and then it turned around in an impulse, which is also usually what happens after a B wave. The C wave is usually a 5-wave move structure, and that is playing out really nicely here. So the C wave resistance are right now between 146. We touched exactly on that level. That's the 100% extension of the ABC structure here, and 156. And that is basically right now the first resistance area that I'm looking for a turnaround. But again, we could also see the fourth wave shooting a bit higher than that. But yeah, it might take some time here to get more clarity on the chart. So in the immediate next steps, for everyone who's asking, well, where are we going next? This is pretty much it. We are currently in this micro ABC structure to finish the fifth wave here to the upside, right? So the third wave was the impulse that happened over the past couple of days since we recorded last time. And yeah, people were quite bullish about that pump, but obviously after this pump, the fourth wave is always a bit messy. So we see an A, a B, overshooting B wave. And right now, there's a high chance that we're tapping further into the support area down here between 134 and 139. So right now, I think the price might tap into this area here further. We could also technically go up from here, and that was the fourth wave because we did touch on the minimum support level here for fourth wave, right? Like the red resistance zone you see here, the fib levels are basically the fib levels between the third wave start and the third wave finish, and that is the fourth wave that is playing out right now. So we are right here in this area. I think we're going to see another pullback down here, and then maybe the push to the upside in a fifth wave to kind of complete this structure. And then we need to see. That's going to be next week. when we record next time, we can probably have more knowledge about how this larger fourth wave here is really playing out. We're not in the safe zone yet. But on other news, one more little update here on another chart, which is the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So excluding the two majors, we're looking at the total crypto market cap, which is currently sitting at $893 billion compared to its recent high at 1.18. That's where we got stopped out. And here I'm zoomed out on the daily chart. The wave count hints at another high, right? If that really plays out, we could either have the fourth wave in already, and we're right now in this next push to the upside. This could happen. There could also be another flush where the fourth wave here actually plays out in an A, B, C structure, with the C being lower as the A wave. So there would be quite another flush in the altcoin sector here, in the total crypto market cap. It is realistic. It's not my primary scenario though. Like I'm not really seeing it right now in the charts, and that's not only because this wave count already checks out, like we could go up from here, but it also is the case that Bitcoin is currently already tapped into this resistance zone here, and we don't need to go much further, right? Like than this. So it really, like right now, we're in a very important kind of part in the markets, because we're deciding pretty much between, is the low in here and we're going up from here, or is this fourth wave, which is the same as the yellow fourth wave box for Solana, right? Up to $205. We're waiting for this area to be broken to the upside. If we break this to the upside, this red wave is going to be invalidated, the count, and we're going to break out to the upside immediately, instead doing another like this, right? Another. So these are the facts when it comes to the prices right now here on the charts. It stays interesting. I am cautiously bullish, but I'm right now out of the market again after this pump, because I'm expecting the price to potentially give us a little bit more fear again by breaking down lower. But I think there might be another nice entry soon, around here, around $135, to catch the next wave up.
I guess one question I have is that the RSI that I'm seeing below, or is that something else?
Yeah, that's the RSI in the 1 hour chart. Yeah.
Man, that bounce is pretty significant, right? Like it touched and it obviously dipped a little bit below, and then the correction was very violently swinging upwards.
Yeah, that is what usually happens when there's enough after heavy dips, right, that we saw over the last couple of weeks. Investors are on the sideline, and we're pretty much all waiting for the bounce. Some of us are waiting for the bounce to new all-time highs, and some of us are waiting for a corrective bounce before we crash lower, right? But everyone is waiting for a bounce, pretty like the whole market. So when that's the dynamic, then you can expect such violent moves to the upside, and this also reflects in the RSI, where we literally, you're right, we came from 20 heavily oversold, all the way up to 89. But keep in mind, the smaller the time frame, also the less relevant the RSI really is. Like if we're zooming out to the daily, it looks a bit softer here in the RSI. But it's a good candle, right? Like this one, in the daily chart, like the move from the bottom here. Like it is promising. It does look promising. It does look better than 5 days ago, when we were still kind of heavily rejected up here. Now I see a chance. I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's kind of nuts, man. Just how much the day-to-day sentiment around how we're doing changes so drastically. Like even though like I feel like I'm a little bit less emotional because I don't really care about short-term price action all that much. Like I still do feel when the vibes are down, right? When the vibes are down, it's not a great feeling. So yeah, it's just it's interesting just how much sentiment can change and how quickly and randomly it feels.
Yeah, 100%.
Well,
That is right. And prices always move and they do their thing. And I'm a big fan of technical analysis because it usually tells us pretty accurately where price is moving. But then there's also a real world out there, right? There's a real world, there's fundamental news that are already playing into the facts as well. And I think it was an announcement fresh off the Air Force One yesterday on December 3rd, where Trump teased with a sentence of, I know who I'm picking for Fed chair. So I think he has some ideas, of who to become the next Fed chair. And we touched on it before, but what am I talking about,
yeah, well, I mean, for those of you who have been living under a rock, the current Fed chair is Jerome Powell. He was with us during COVID. There's plenty of you might notice him from those money gun memes when he turned on the money printer to pay for a lot of the COVID stimulus that we got to, keep the economy going. But he's been at odds with Trump, hasn't he, Simon, for the last few
Yeah.
years?
They're not.
He
They're
hates.
not. They're not best friends. Yeah, they're not. They're not best buddies. Like basically they have opposite world views. So I think, I think Trump really wants a change, and he's really pushing for a new chair since a while now. Right now, culture odds are spiking at 80% for Kevin Hassett to
Yeah.
jump in as the new chair.
So we're going to show you this little clip over here that we have of Donny Boy.
Being it's a great group, and I guess a potential Fed chair is here too. I don't know. Are we allowed to say that? Potential. He's a respected person, that I can tell you. Thank you, Kevin.
Oh my god, this man is such a meme. Fun times. I think chances are very high. I mean, that's what prediction markets are useful for, right? You look at the data there. Over 80% say Kevin has it because of this, right? Like, it's pretty obvious who Trump wants to put there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trump's Trump himself, and I think also Hassett, they're both want to cut rates, right? Much more aggressively than what Powell is doing. I think we talked about Trump's golden age. He's very aggressive with the things he's saying right now. He really wants to have 1%, ideally 1% rates instead of right now 3 to 4% where we're sitting, which is insane. It's a big jump, right? But that's where he wants to go. While Powell is like, yeah, no, we're gonna cut maximum 25 bips now, and that's it. But I think we're going to see it probably come to life, and we're going to see more rate cuts come to life, and that is going to help liquidity to flow into the markets as well. I think December are still 87% odds right now for 25% still, but I think after this and after Hassett really comes in and so on, we could really see further cuts that are bringing the Fed rate much lower. Maybe not 1%, but closer to 2, I would say. And I think this will definitely bring more liquidity into the crypto market as well.
Yeah. Trump has had a pretty long history of picking people who are willing to do what he asks. Typically, there is a split between the White House and the Fed chair. And we do this for good reasons, because you don't want the president to look at political considerations, whether it be the next election or what's good for his party, when making decisions about fiscal policy, right? You want fiscal policy to live beyond the current president. But you look at Trump appointees all across, the American government, whether it be in the military or whether it be in the Supreme Court and now with the Federal Reserve. He's very good at picking loyal people, and so the likelihood that we get a Fed chair who's willing to do crazy shit like cut 3 points in a quarter, is quite high.
Yeah. Let's see how the next weeks go. But again, chances are high that this is also going to be good for crypto. What else is good for crypto?
What's also very good for crypto is the largest asset manager, I think about $8.7 trillion in assets under management. They're going to allow for crypto ETFs on its platform, and not just crypto ETF, but also mutual funds as well that are focused on crypto. Why do you think that's bullish for I mean, like, like it seems pretty obvious, like why having the largest asset manager, allowing crypto ETFs onto their platform is bullish. But I mean, like, what does this mean? Simon.
I think first of all, it gives us credibility, like further and further. It
Mm.
is very strong signaling. I just I'm talking increasingly right now with older generations about crypto again for some secret project reasons, and these people are not yet onboarded to crypto, but are open now, right? And they haven't been in the past 5 years. It took literally 5 years of first hearing about crypto to thinking it's a scam to now arriving at the conclusion of, hey, the big boys are all here. They're all looking at it, right? And if Vanguard is going to allow crypto ETFs and crypto funds as the world's largest asset manager, and it is such a strong signaling. So I think actually that is the main story behind this for me. That will help us to just onboard many, many more people, important people with deep pockets into this ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah. But if we're talking about onboarding people with deep pockets, we're definitely not talking about the UK. That's a horrible British accent, but whatever.
Almost better than me.
Over in the UK, those poor fuckers now they have crypto classified legally as property. I don't know what it was classified as before, but essentially what that means is if you were to pass on crypto to your son, God forbid that you pass away as a UK citizen, then you are going to be taxed inheritance tax, and that tax is very, very high. I think that you were making some comments before the show that people are quite upset about this. What's your take?
I've seen a few negative comments on this. I think, yeah, like UK is not embracing crypto at all, and I see a lot of crypto people fleeing from the United Kingdom to seek crypto havens like Dubai and even Thailand now and other countries. People are not excited about the regulation they put in place. This is only one of the things that puts like pretty heavy taxation on crypto earnings. But they also implemented something very recently where they basically make exchanges report on all their users, and if you don't report on a user, you get fined, I think, $300 per user. And like they're really trying to have their hands on the pulse of what's happening and surveil this industry very heavily, which is definitely not, like, a lot of crypto people are not a fan of exactly that, right? They may want to maintain their privacy as much as possible, and they think they have, I mean, we do have our right to do private transactions as well as much as possible that are not exactly tied to our individuals, and they just want to make it all like super transparent, right? Too transparent, I think. And that's, yeah, I think UK probably not the place right now to be if you are holding a lot of crypto assets. That's my take.
Yeah, probably not. So Simon, that wraps up the coziest part of the podcast. Where can people find more of our stuff?
You should head over to Solid Brothers Pod on YouTube if you're not a follower yet of our YouTube account, because we do live stream as well, and most of our audience is on Twitter, where you also find us at Solid Brothers Pod. So make sure to just subscribe, follow everywhere. Also on Instagram at Solid Brothers Pod, where we also push some of our short clips all the time. If you want to join some of these live streams, well, then have a look out for Mondays and Thursdays, because that's when we are actually live doing these things, and you're going to get the alpha firsthand. But if you want the polished version, head over to YouTube, drop a like, drop a comment, and we'll see you at the next one.